No one would have guessed what he would become. If you saw him as a child, you would have looked past him. Quiet, thin, always standing a little behind others. His name was Michael Turner, and his life did not begin with hope. It began with survival. He was born into a poor family in a crowded neighborhood where walls were thin and dreams were thinner. The apartment was small, too small for 5 people. At night, Michael listened to his parents whispering, not about love, about bills, about rent, about what could wait another month. His father worked whenever work appeared: construction, warehouses, night shifts. His mother cleaned houses that were bigger than their entire building. Money never stayed. It passed through their hands like water. Michael learned early that asking for things was dangerous. Shoes were worn until they broke. Clothes were passed down. Silence was safer than complaints. At school, Michael was invisible. Not bullied loudly, not welcomed warmly, just ignored. He sat at the back, spoke softly, avoided attention. When teachers asked questions, he knew the answers, but his hand stayed down, because being noticed felt risky. Other children laughed easily. Michael watched. They talked about vacations. He talked about nothing. They talked about plans. He listened. Inside, he carried fear. Fear of being embarrassed. Fear of being poor forever. Fear of standing out. But he also carried something else: observation. He noticed how confident children spoke, how teachers reacted to certainty, how the world rewarded those who appeared sure of themselves. Michael promised himself something quietly. One day, I will not be afraid to speak. But not yet. After school, he worked. Small jobs at first, delivering newspapers, cleaning storage rooms, helping neighbors move furniture. He gave most of the money to his mother, not because she asked, because he saw relief in her eyes. High school was harder. Pressure grew. Expectations grew. Money problems grew. Many nights, Michael studied by dim light while his parents slept, not because he loved studying, because he saw no other exit. When graduation came, there was no celebration, just a question: what now? College felt impossible. No savings, no connections, no confidence. But Michael did something unusual. He worked and applied. Worked during the day, studied at night, saved every dollar. Rejection letters arrived, one after another. He kept them, not as reminders of failure, as proof of persistence. On the 4th attempt, a small university accepted him. Nothing prestigious, nothing impressive, but it was a door. Michael entered quietly. University life was brutal. Others had support, parents, time, confidence. Michael had a job, sometimes 2. He cleaned offices at night, worked weekends, studied between shifts. There were moments when quitting felt logical, when exhaustion erased motivation. But he remembered something. Fear had already taken enough from him. He would not let it take this. He graduated without applause, without honors, without attention. Degree in hand, debt in pocket, hope still fragile. His first job was ordinary. Factory floor, manual work, long hours. He was an employee, replaceable, invisible again. But something had changed. Michael was no longer afraid. He listened, learned, observed systems, how orders moved, how mistakes happened, how leaders spoke. He worked harder than expected, spoke less than others, but delivered consistently. Supervisors noticed, not immediately, eventually. Small responsibilities followed, then bigger ones. Michael studied after work: management, operations, leadership. Not to impress, to prepare. Years passed. He moved up slowly, painfully, honestly. Some coworkers laughed. He's too quiet. He's not leadership material. Michael didn't argue. He improved results. Projects ran smoother. Teams became efficient. Costs dropped. Silence became credibility. One promotion, then another. By 40, Michael was no longer invisible. He was reliable. By 50, he was respected. Then something unexpected happened. The company faced crisis, losses, bad decisions, leadership failure. Executives panicked. Michael stayed calm. He proposed solutions, not dramatic ones, practical ones. They worked. When leadership changed, Michael was chosen. Not because he was loud, because he was steady. The boy who once feared speaking now led thousands. Not with charisma, with clarity. Not with ego, with responsibility. He never forgot where he came from. He paid fair wages, invested in training, protected workers, because he remembered fear and chose dignity. Michael became wealthy, but wealth did not change him. It freed him. Freed him to give, to protect, to build. When asked about success, he said this: "I didn't rise fast, I rose correctly." And if you are listening now, quiet, uncertain, afraid, understand this: the world does not belong only to the loud. It also belongs to those who endure.